I saw this over and over again. Leaders who looked all well put together, polished on the outside. They were hitting their numbers, showing up for meetings, and just getting things done. But those cracks were costing people their health, their relationships. When I say relationships, I mean their marriage, their parenting relationships, their friendships, and everything in between. And I mean, sometimes even their own careers, which is ironic because they're burning themselves out trying to grind and doing all the things. But then at the end of the day, we don't think about mental health as a skill for leadership. We think about it as a personal matter, an issue or a focus that has to do with how people feel, their emotions, or even a chronic mental health disorder like depression, anxiety. It's not. People look up to leadership for answers, for support, for guidance. And if you as a leader are feeling anxious, really, or just really worried, nervous, if you are trying to hide how nervous you feel about the change and you try to just cope with it when you leave the office or the factory, wherever you're working, and you deal with it for that 1 hour a day by going out for drinks or ignoring it or whatever it is that you do, the problem is not going to go away. It's not about being the first one to get there and the last person to leave. What we're going to talk about here in this podcast is about what's going on the inside. And I want to tell you that this is a complete myth here, that leadership is about always being strong and never showing emotion. The truth is, leaders are humans. Ignoring mental health will lead to burnout, to turnover, to a toxic culture, to micromanagement. And what we want to do is reach a point where we have authentic leadership, and that starts with inner work. If you implement self-compassion, then it changes everything because you look at yourself and you meet yourself where you're at. It's not about settling for less, but it's about acknowledging the efforts that you've done. And it's about changing the self-judgment to acceptance. It's okay to be vulnerable with yourself first, to be honest, to have emotional honesty. And when you start to think about your leadership development in terms of how can I grow from the inside, it changes everything because it makes your identity, it changes your perspective of your leadership identity into something much greater than it has been, because it's not just about moving up the ladder. It's about being the best person you can be for your team, for yourself, for your family. Focusing on mental health feels right. When we pretend that mental health isn't part of leadership, what we're really doing is building on a shaky foundation. A leader's stress affects the entire team. Where in your leadership are you running on empty? Maybe it's in your energy, maybe it's your patience, maybe it's your confidence,